Folks, let me tell you one sure way to disappoint your buyer, and then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending April 19th, 2023. So you want to sell your house. You decide staging is really important, and you know that first impression is really important. So you get your house ready, you do everything you're supposed to do, and first impression looks good. You're standing in front of your house, you're walking in, you're walking through your own house and thinking, wow, my house looks awesome. Buyers are going to love it. You should know, first impression is not when they actually arrive at your house. First impression is online. So you take professional photos, and buyers or potential buyers are flipping through all the listings. They see yours, and it looks awesome. The photos look great. They can see it's been staged, but they look great. So the buyers book a showing to go see the actual real life in person to see your home. They get there and it looks just like the photos. That's fantastic. That's the way you want it. They felt good about the photos. That's why they booked a showing, and they're there. Everything looks great. That's what you want. Or they show up and things look even better in real life. That would be like the best scenario. What happens though sometimes is the opposite. And this is how to really disappoint the buyer, where they see the photos, then they show up and they're seeing something different. The home doesn't look the same. It just doesn't look the way it looked in the photos. And I'm bringing this topic up because there's a new trend emerging that is doing just that. In my opinion, from my experience, this new trend buyers are not enjoying this, and that's the trend of virtual staging. You have an empty house, maybe it's not set up nice, maybe it doesn't have the nicest furniture, and instead of going through the trouble, because it's a lot of work to properly stage, to bring furniture in, get out the old furniture, set things up, put nice decorations up on the wall and so forth, which is proper staging. You take a photo of the space, send it to a virtual stager, somebody sitting at a desk, and they put online just images. They put furniture into the photos. Now when you see these photos, usually if it's done properly, you can't even tell it's a virtual staging. They look real. So you're seeing these photos and you're thinking, wow, this is a nice looking house. You show up and it's either empty or it's got other stuff in there, other furniture. It's such a letdown for the buyer. I've personally experienced this with my buyers, even myself. When I see it, I'm excited to bring my buyer to the house, and it's like, it's not the same. It's a different feeling. Why is virtual staging becoming more and more of a trend? Because it's cheap, it's easy, it's simple, it's cheap, and it's a mistake, in my opinion. So understand, first impression is online. The second first impression is physically at the place, and the experience you want the buyer to have is at the very least, the same that they saw online. As excited they are to see the photos, you want them to be that excited when they walk through your house, or even more excited when they walk through your house. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from these videos, subscribe. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, is a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Are you following the Leafs? Are you watching what's happening? The last two games were exciting. Game 5's coming up. This is a big game for us. Go Leafs, go. Buyers. Lots of buyers out there. We could see it from our listings. We have lots of showings, lots of buyers coming up, lots coming to the showings, coming to see the listings, lots of conversations. There's no issue with a lack of buyers across York Region if we had to point to an issue, it's a lack of listings. So lots of buyers. The fact that there's so few listings kind of just magnifies the fact that there's so many buyers out there. Let's get into the numbers. I'm going to start off with Vaughan. This is for detached properties only. I have the chart here broken down by week for a whole year. For week ending April 19th, 45 detached properties were sold. That's the best week we've had in a year. It's actually more than the best week we've had, more than a year, but I've only got a year on the board. So let's just talk about that. 45, highest single week in 1 year. 8 of those properties were sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price came down a bit to $1,770,000. We were a year ago high 1.9, 2 million. Now 1170. 1170 is 13% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is also 13% lower than a year ago. Median price is sitting at 1.7. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. I use that because it makes it simpler, easier to spot a trend, and it helps eliminate the peaks and valleys. It's pretty clear. Average sold price and median price have been trending up over since the beginning of this year. Over the span of 2 months, 3 months, average sold price and median price trending up in Vaughan for detached properties. 45 were sold, we said. 56% of those sold at list price or more. We were in the 20 percentile, now we're at 56%. So more than half are being sold at whatever's listed or higher, and that just kind of points to the confidence of the market. That's the way I see it. The whole, here's a price, yeah, we're confident pricing it here, and we're confident buyers are going to show up, and the seller's confident they're going to get a bit more because they have no intentions of selling it at the price they're actually advertising. 79 were listed. We're normally much lower than what we were listing last year, but 79 is getting a little bit closer. But for this year, 79 in 1 week is also the most listings we've had in 1 week of detached properties. So maybe if that's a trend that keeps up, we can start seeing more supply, which would be a good thing for us. And months of inventory sitting at 1. That's pretty low. That speaks to how competitive the market is getting. And we've been trending down with months of inventory this whole year so far. Here is Richmond Hill. 37 detached properties were sold. Also a 1 year high. Of the 37, close to half, 16 sold at $2 million or more. It's no surprise. Well, if you look at 1 week to the next, the previous week, only 1 sold at $2 million. Average sold price, boom, came right down. This week, we go the opposite. 16 sold at $2 million or more, and average sold price shoots way up to $1,997,000. 1997 is 11% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is 9% lower. Median price sitting at $1,858,000. And I've got 2 arrows here. Average sold price kind of looks like over the span of 2 months is slowly or slightly trending downwards actually, but median price looks like it's the opposite, slightly trending upwards over the span of about 2 months. Of the 37 that sold, 65% sold at list price or more, and 56 were listed, which is for this year the best week we've had so far as listings go. Months of inventory came down by almost half of what it was the previous week. 0.8 is the months of inventory for Richmond Hill. Very competitive. Markham, 44 detached properties were sold. Our best week of the year. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price $1,780,000. 1780 is 12% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Median price is 3% lower. And if we look at what the trend line's been doing over the last 2 months, 3 months, we were going up. This is for average sold price and for median price. Prices were trending upwards, but for the last month or so, month and a half, they've been quite flat, both average and median price for Markham. Of the 44 that did sell, as much as 71% sold at list price or more. Very, very competitive in Markham. 50 detached properties were listed, and months of inventory, 0.6. It's like a danger zone almost. It's so low. 0.6 months of inventory. Here are condos for all of York region. 48 condos were sold. Average sold price is $709,000. No condo sold at $1 million or more. The condo market, very different than the detached market. 709 is 7% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price is 9% lower. Prices, however, for the last 2 months, both average and median price have been slightly trending upwards. Of the 48 that sold, 27% sold at list price or more. And when I say condo market is different than the detached market, obviously I'm not talking about the actual product. That's, you know, obvious. I'm talking about percentage selling at list price or more. I'm talking about how competitive it is, how aggressive it is. You know, can you put in offers? Can you think about the property for a while without having to quickly jump in? Are you competing? It's night and day, detached versus condos. Condos is a little bit more relaxed. You generally have time. You generally can negotiate. We're seeing fewer condos listed where there's going to be competition and an offer date. It's just two different environments there. 112 condos were listed. Months of inventory sitting at 1.5. Now, prices are trending upwards, we said, for condos, not aggressively, and months of inventory is trending downwards. There is a big difference between, I know it doesn't seem like much, but we're sitting here at 1.5 months of inventory. Let me go to the summary. Huge difference between 1.5 months of inventory versus 1 month of inventory versus 0.6 months of inventory. Mathematically, doesn't seem like a big difference, but man, you feel it in the intensity. If you're looking to sell, you're looking to buy. We are very much in a seller's market. Anything below 4 months of inventory is considered a seller's market. We are in an extreme seller's market. Thanks for watching. Go Leafs Go. Have a great day.